Hi everyone! I hope that all of you are ready to learn a new topic for today. So, what is the topic for today? Well, before that, let me introduce my name. My name is SYAFIQA, and today we will be learning Inertia in 15 minutes. Sounds fun, right? So, let us have fun again today. Inertia. Interesting, right? So, today we will be learning these three subtopics under Inertia. First, we will get to know the concept of inertia. Next, we will be understanding the relationship between inertia and mass. And last but not least, we will study the effects of inertia in daily life. So, let's start. So, let us start with a question. Have you ever wondered how any of this happened? The first gift here. What is actually the woman doing? Well, you can see there's a stack of blocks. So, when she hit the bottom one, the other blocks are falling vertically. Next, moving to the next gift. There is a girl who is jumping onto some colored powders. But how is it the powders are not scattered? For the next gift, we can see there's a giraffe who is driving a car. Well, it is quite weird, right? So the giraffe is jerking forward, even the car has crashed a wall, which is the same goes to the next gift where I'll be showing. The driver here is jerking forward and hit the car mirror. Well, that's hurt when the car crashed the wall. So, how do any of this happen? Is this magic? Nope. This is what we call inertia. So, just now I have shown you several examples of inertia, but it is not clear yet, right? So, what is actually inertia? Well, I can see your face now is quite confused. Well, it's okay. We will be learning all it by today. So, inertia is actually the tendency of an object to remain at rest, or if it's moving, to continue its motion in a straight line at a uniform velocity. Can you see it much clearer now? No? Okay. Let me try to explain you with another slide. So, for this slide, I will be explaining on the relation inertia with the Newton's first law of motion. Inertia actually can be explained from this law of motions, where it states that an object will remain at rest or move at uniform velocity unless there is an external force acted upon this object. So, here's a funny story. The Newton's first law of motion mentioned that an object that is at rest will stay at rest. We can see here the man is actually lying down, and there's no intention of waking up because he is at rest. So, what happened when his mom is coming and pouring some water onto him? I'm pretty sure that he will be waking up, right? So, the mom is actually an external force to force the man to wake up. It's funny, right? So, here are some examples of inertia. So, let me explain you in much more detail than before. First, back to the women again. So she swipes away the bottom of the block. So what happened to the rest where initially all stacks are at rest? So when she tries to move the bottom one, the rest won't follow the movement and they will be at their initial position and fall vertically on top of the table. This is inertia, as the objects are at rest remain at rest. It happened exactly the same way with the colored powders. So in this picture, there is a girl who jumps onto them. But then the colored powders are not scattered away. So the inertia is actually keeping these powders at rest since they are initially at rest. Same goes to this tennis ball. They are falling inside of the cup when the board is pushed away. This is because these balls are initially at rest on the board. So when the board is pulled away, their inertia will keep them at rest and they will fall vertically inside the cup since there is no more board to support them. Next, how about the giraffe and the passenger of the lorry? Both giraffe and the passengers are initially moving. So as the car and the lorry hit something, the inertia of the giraffe and the passenger will continue its motion forward. So what happened are both of them are jerking forward. This is due to inertia. How about the hamster? So what happened is that even the hamster has stopped running, but the treadmill, which is initially moving, will continue its motion. So that is why the hamster is rolling together with the treadmill even though he has stopped. Well, pity the hamster. He should continue. So now we have quite a better understanding on what inertia is, right? So let us remind ourselves, an inertia has the tendency to keep an object at rest remain at rest, and an object that is moving will keep moving in constant velocity. Now, we will be moving to the factor that is affecting inertia. So let us look at the first picture. There is a man sliding down there, right? But why is that man did not stop sliding even there is a barrier to stop him? And from the bottom picture, why is it the thin man who is running quickly and it hits the elephant? It is so easy to stop the thin man, but it is very difficult to move the elephant which is at rest. So, these examples can relate that mass is actually the factor that affects inertia, where an object that has greater mass is more difficult to stop it from moving and to set it in motion compared to the object that has smaller mass. So, looking back at the first picture, since the men in the white shirt who are sliding are quite big in size, which means that he must have a high mass. So, that is why it is harder to stop him from moving even there is a barrier. About the second picture, same goes to the man and the elephant. Since the man is low in mass, so it is easy to stop him when in motion, while it is harder to move an elephant at rest since it has a bigger mass. So, the thinner man has less inertia Meanwhile, the big elephant has more inertia. Okay, so now we can have a discussion on the effects of inertia in daily life. Okay, now I want you to try to imagine. One day, it is raining heavily on your way to school, and you have arrived at your school safely. But you need to get into your class, and your umbrella is wet, so you need to dry it quickly. So what should you do? So now open your umbrella and rotate it in one direction. And next, the raindrop will follow the direction of rotation. But when you suddenly change the direction, the raindrop will still follow the initial direction and spin off. So that is why the raindrop will fall off from your umbrella. How about when you are in a bus and there is no more seat, so you have to stand? So when the bus are initially at rest and suddenly moving, you will be jerking backward. This is because your body are trying to keep you at rest. Same goes when the bus which is initially moving and suddenly stop. Your body will be jerking forward since the inertia will still keep you moving forward. Okay, for the next situation, in situation 3, so there's a diagram here. It shows the diagram of an oil tanker lorry. We can see that it is divided into several sections, the oil tanker. So this is due to reduce the effect of inertia. Imagine if the oil tanker lorry suddenly stops. The oil in the tanker will gushing forward since it will continue its motion, where it will hit the inner wall of the container, and this can cause spark which may lead to explosion. So to reduce the effect of inertia, the oil tanker is divided into smaller compartments and it was filled in a different level. For next situation, there is a chili sauce bottle. So the chili sauce in the bottle flow out easily when the glass bottle is moved quickly downwards and then suddenly stop. So when the bottle is shaken downwards, it gives a downward motion to the content inside, and when it is stopped shaking, it is sudden, so the content will continue moving downward and finally it will flow out from the bottle. So now you can have it with the chicken nuggets. So this will be the end of today's lesson. So since we end the topic, so how if we try some of the question for inertia? The first question, the law of inertia, which is the Newton's first law, applies A. to moving objects only, B. only to objects that are not moving, C. to both moving and non-moving objects. So what is your answer? Good! The answer is C, which is to both moving and non-moving object. So moving to the next question, which phenomenon shows the effect of inertia on a moving object? A. A racing car can go faster than an ordinary car. B. An aeroplane can fly higher than a helicopter. C. A smaller car takes shorter time to stop the car completely compared to a lorry. So, which one is your answer? Great! The answer is C. So, a smaller car would take a shorter time to stop the car completely compared to a lorry which is higher in mass.